Welcome to episode 23 of the Free Your Spirit podcast. As we wind down 2021 and we're now sort of moving towards a new year, new beginnings, we're actually at a very, very powerful point in time. This is the time of the solstice, and if you're listening to the Free Your Spirit podcast in the Northern Hemisphere, we're celebrating the winter solstice. It's the time of those longest nights and shortest days. Whereas if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you'll be celebrating the summer solstice. It's the time for those longest days and shortest nights. But what's beautiful about this time is that it's something that we all celebrate collectively, or even if you don't celebrate it, we all experience this phenomenon. We all experience it. It's a very, very, very powerful time. And the reason why it's powerful is that the sun actually, for a period of about 3 days, pauses before it shifts direction. And we know it shifts direction because after the solstice, the Northern Hemisphere, we begin to experience those longer days, and in the Southern Hemisphere, the reverse happens. So we know that there's a shift in direction. And the more that we can tune into the cycles and seasons and just allow ourselves to experience that, as we do that at this time, at the time of the solstice, the winter summer solstice, wherever you are in the world listening to this, as the sun pauses, we too can pause. We too can have an opportunity to change direction. And in this week's podcast episode, I'm going to be diving into more of the things that we can do at this powerful time to support us as we move forward into the next stage in our journey as we step into the new year. So I'm so grateful for you being here, and let's dive right in. Hey there folks, and welcome and happy winter solstice, 21st of December 2021. And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, happy winter solstice. And if you're listening to this from the Southern Hemisphere, happy summer solstice. This is a beautiful, powerful time, really powerful time. It's something that we all collectively experience, those changes in the seasons. And the reason why the solstice is so powerful and such an important time is that it's a time for reflection, a time actually when there is a pause in the movement of the sun. There's a period of 3 days where everything is kind of standing still, if you will. I mean, the solstice, the meaning of that word is sol, means sun, and sister, to stand still. So there's 3 days, around the winter solstice, the 21st of December. Again, the winter solstice if we're in the Northern Hemisphere, summer solstice if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. We're sort of experiencing these extremes. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's sort of the longest nights and shortest days. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's the longest days and the shortest nights. And so we can perhaps understand this pause in that frame and in that context, because the sun, after the solstice, will shift direction. And we'll start to experience in the Northern Hemisphere, that's when we start to experience those longer days, and it's the reverse in the Southern Hemisphere. So the reason why I wanted to share this in this podcast episode is that we're actually saying goodbye to 2021, regardless of where you are. This is a powerful time to pause and reflect as the sun is sort of pausing and about to shift and change directions. We too are at that powerful moment in time where we too can shift direction. We're moving into a new year. So it's a really beautiful, powerful time to reflect on that. It's not a question of like, I have to know my life's purpose. I have to know what I want in 2021. No, give yourself a break. This is just a time to pause and reflect. And it's also a powerful time to, as you look back over the year, there may be some things that you want to let go of. There may be some stuff that happened. I know a lot of us have had a challenging year. challenging circumstances, and it's perhaps time to let go of that. There's probably stuff we just want to dump. We just want, I just want to move on. And then there's other things that we can perhaps think about lovingly letting go of. And I like to think of it almost as, well, it is a journey, right? Like we're leaving this year behind, 2021 behind, we're stepping into 2022. It's like a gateway, a doorway is opening, and yet there's this period just before you step through that door between now and the 1st of January 2022, when we can just kind of, rest, rejuvenate, and also maybe just give a little bit of time to think about, what do we want to leave behind? We don't want to step into that brand new, clear, clean slate, new year, dragging with us a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't serve us. So it is a beautiful, powerful time as we tune in with the cycles, as the sun is pausing and ready to shift and change direction. We too can pause. We have the power to change the direction in our lives. And I think a really important, powerful step for us to do that is to think of what we want to let go of. And as I talk about this, I'm thinking about, oh my goodness, for the longest time, just thinking about journeys, I used to, living in Canada, I've lived here for the past 20 plus years, and every time I go home to England, I'd pack a suitcase, a heavy suitcase. I didn't know what I wanted to take with me. I didn't know what to expect, so obviously the case got heavier and heavier and more stuff got put in there. Did I use that stuff when I got to England? No. Did I regret having to pack it around, to the airport, on the subway, tubeway, whatever, dragging this suitcase around with me, dragging this stuff around with me that actually didn't serve me? I didn't need it. And I think it's the same going into 2022. Let's just kind of let go, right? It's a bold, brave thing to do. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. Like just packing a suitcase and traveling lightly isn't easy. So as we think about this analogy and then apply it to our lives, it's not easy to let go of the stuff that doesn't serve us. A lot of it, because a lot of it too is unconscious to us. We don't even know we're packing it around. And I mean, this is why I love to do the work that I do. This is why I have a beautiful, powerful program, Freedom Now, which supports my clients in really doing that deep inner work to let go of the stuff that they no longer need to pack around them. It doesn't serve them. It doesn't serve the new life that they want to create. And going back again to that analogy, I actually took a picture. I'll probably share it here or on my website or in the video, however my team, however we figure out how to do it. It's of me very proudly standing at Vancouver Airport before I went through customs and immigration and the whole thing with my little carry-on suitcase. I did it, folks. I actually managed, and it took me many years to figure out how to do it. This is a lifelong journey, right? But in our lives and just in those trips we do wherever we go, I was able to take with me a carry-on bag, and I went home to England for a month. Goodness, did that ever feel good? Was I ever proud of myself to be kind of wheeling this light, easy bag around with me? Traveling was so much easier. I didn't have to wait for my luggage when I got to London Heathrow Airport. I just scooted. I went much faster. Everything went faster. Everything was easier. It was so much lighter. And I felt wonderful. And I think this is the same for us in our journeys through life. The stuff we don't have to pack around with us. Situations that happen that we may regret, we may feel guilty, shame, all of those things. It's important to let all that stuff go. It doesn't serve you to feel guilt and shame, because those feelings are on the very lower end of the spectrum, of the vibratory spectrum. It's low vibe feelings. And if you've been in my world for any length of time, you'll know that our feelings is how we communicate with the universe. This isn't woo, this isn't just Louise, mouthing off talking about this stuff. There's scientific evidence to prove that we communicate with the matrix of energy around us through the power of our feelings. And it's that vibration, and the lower vibe feelings, they don't serve us because they're only going to bring to us more lower vibe stuff. We want to move, we want to shift up the scale of vibration, we want to raise our vibration and frequency. And so a great way to do that is to let go of stuff that doesn't serve us. Thoughts, beliefs, feelings, emotions, all of the stuff that has a tendency to bring our energy down, to take us to dark places. It's time to let it all go. And again, I know it's not easy. It's even packing for a journey to go to the UK. It's not easy, right? You're trying to figure out, what do I take? What do I leave? What do I need? What don't I need? But in this time, coming back to solstice, at this powerful time, as the sun pauses before it changes direction, I just really encourage you to honor that for yourself. Give yourself space just to pause, just to be, just to regenerate. And if you can, as much as you can, between now and as stepping through the doorway to the new year, if you can just be gentle on yourself. Don't beat yourself up for the things that happened in 2021. Don't give yourself a hard time. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve anybody. It's just going to dampen your vibe and your frequency. It's time to, just be gentle is what the word that just keeps coming to mind. Forgive yourself. Be gentle on yourself. Love yourself. Somebody told me to love myself 25 years ago, and I'm like, what the heck does she mean? It can feel like I didn't know, I had no clue what she meant. And I think the thing about loving ourselves is, in this time, if you can treat yourself, if you can just be kind to yourself, the things that you monitor your thoughts, if you're saying not so nice things to yourself, catch it and change it. That's another great thing to do, to stop beating ourselves up. Would you say that to a good friend, a best friend? No, you wouldn't talk to your best friend like that. So why do we talk to ourselves like that? So just being loving with ourselves, loving ourselves, gentle with ourselves. And if you feel like at the time of this solstice, at the time of this slowing down, before we shift and change directions, you could maybe write down on a piece of paper what you want to let go of. If you're being hard on yourself, if you're feeling guilt and shame around things that happened, write it down. And ceremony, I love ceremony, I love ritual. Ceremony gives form to the formless. You could do a little ritual, a little ceremony, and then just burn it safely, release it, let it go. And call your ancestors in, call your guides, guardians in to guide you, support you, to help you, in this transitional stage and phase, because we are in transition. The sun is in transition. It's slowing down. It's going to change direction. We can slow down. We can change direction. We can make powerful choices for ourselves. And like I say, I do love ceremony. Lighting a candle, it's an opportunity for us to invite spirit in. Pausing in nature, just really tapping into celebrating the sun, the moon, the earth, all of those things. Breathing in, if you can, be in a place where it's just beautiful, clean, clear, fresh air, and just inhale that. And as you breathe in, just breathing in clarity and being clear, and just as you breathe out, releasing and letting go of all the things that no longer serve you. And again, ceremony, write things down on paper, and you can just burn that safely. Burn it, let it go. Don't take it with you. Don't pack it around with you. I know that when I was at Vancouver Airport all those years ago with that light and easy suitcase, it felt so good. It felt so good not to pack that stuff around with me. And it's the same with all that inner junk and gunk and stuff and situations and people and circumstances, things that were said, things that were done. You can't change that. No, of course you can't. You can't change the events, but you can change the meanings that you've given them, and you can just be gentle on yourself and say it's time to let it all go. Alrighty, folks. I want to wish you a wonderful solstice, a wonderful time for pausing, reflecting, replenishing, preparing and letting go of stuff and preparing for stepping into a wonderful new year. Alrighty, I'm so grateful that we have this space and place to connect. Thank you for being with me through 2021, for showing up, for listening to these episodes. I'm thrilled that we can connect in this way, and I'm sending you so much love, blessings, all of the good things across the miles, across the ethers as you celebrate this beautiful, powerful time. And I shall see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Now, this opportunity to join the Clarity Now Masterclass for just $97 is only available for a limited time, so check out the special link around this video to snag your seat. And finally, if you aren't already following me on social media, come soak up the extra inspiration on Instagram by following me at Sunshine Louise Wilson, or by visiting my Facebook page at Louise Wilson Clarity Coach. Alrighty then, folks, I'm sending a blanket of love and blessings across the ethers and the miles, and I shall see you in the next episode. Bye for now.